Meeting of the Transportation Committee to order.
Public comment.
Without objection, we would like to take items 2 through 5 on consent.
Councilmember, we have a revised resolution for number 3, which would expand the proposed district to include the south side of Rinaldi Street and between Tampa and Wilbur Avenue. So if we can approve the revised resolution for number 3.
So can that be done as part of consent?
Yes, consent 2, 3 as amended, 4, 5, 7, and 8.
Okay, we have speakers on 7 also. So then with the amendments to item 3, we will take 2, 3, 4, 5, and 8 on consent without objection. We will then take public comment, general public comment. We have one speaker, Rosie Cato.
Good afternoon, members of the committee. My name is Rosie Cato. I'm an at-large representative for the West Los Angeles Sawtell Neighborhood Council. However, I'm speaking as a concerned constituent and homeowner. Residents of the Sawtell Japantown feel they are being railroaded. Petitions were submitted for approximately 24 street segments to modify parking restrictions for PPD 49. Residents were told by DOT in July, and as recently as last week, that verification is at 95%. Why is the committee not holding DOT to the city budget recommendation of meeting a 6-month benchmark in processing petitions? 2 other areas of PPD 45, also within CD 11, were approved for the exact same restrictions. Now the residents are being coerced into a compromise based upon survey results that appear to have been manipulated. Over 60 Japanese and Asian households petition and feel that they are being discriminated against. A second item is the traffic signal at Mississippi and Sawtell. Over 160 signatures are opposing the traffic signal. Residents were told that the signal was stalled because DOT failed to notice a driveway located too close to the intersection. Also, the traffic signal violates the West LA Transportation Improvement and Mitigation Specific Plan by not protecting the residential neighborhood from commuter traffic. Residents agree that the traffic signal is overkill, and we are requesting a 4-way stop which will calm traffic, self-regulate traffic flow, and will allow Sawtell residents to enter and exit the Sawtell traffic. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Now, item number 1.
Item number 1 is the General Manager of LADOT to present a verbal update relative to the ongoing projects and recognition of LADOT employees for outstanding service.
Good afternoon, members of the committee. As we try and do once a month, we want to recognize some of LADOT's best and brightest. First, I am proud to recognize Traffic Officer Lamar Barbary for his heroic actions on the morning of June 24th, 2015. While patrolling his assigned area, he observed a woman that was apparently distraught and sitting precariously on top of the Cesar Chavez Bridge overpass. Officer Barbary immediately contacted communications to send police and fire to the scene and request assistance from other officers. Traffic officers Sharon Poland and Alfred Brown heard the radio broadcast and both quickly responded to set up a traffic detour. Barbary then engaged the woman in conversation in a desire to coax her off the ledge of the bridge. As they waited for emergency responders, Barbary noticed the woman was becoming more restless, and he became concerned for her safety. Worried that there were perhaps only seconds left to help save this woman, he again advised that help was coming. This caused the woman to hesitate, and at that moment, he ran towards her and grabbed her off the ledge, averting a tragedy. Officer Barbary's actions on this day demonstrate the unpredictable nature of a traffic officer's workday and the vital public safety role they provide in the performance of their duties. LADOT proudly recognizes Traffic Officer Lamar Barbary for an exceptional job and his compassionate behavior that reflects the best nature for the work that we do. So please stand, officer. I just want to mention that Officer Barbary joined the department in October of 2006. However, you could say he's been a member of the DOT family before this date. His mother is Sergeant Cynthia Montgomery, who started with the city in 1994 and became a traffic officer in March of 2000. Officer Barbary is an instructor and a bike officer currently assigned to our central area office. He keeps it professional and he keeps it in the family. And I know his mother is here as well. So we want to recognize her service to the city as well. Second, from our Parking Management Division, we have Juan Montano, who joined LADOT 25 years ago as a parking meter tech. Using the experience he gained in the Parking Meter Division, he promoted to his current position as a Transportation Engineering Aide in the Permits Division. Since that time, he's been a key member of the team that gladly assumed the role of teacher to train others. In addition to ensuring that thousands of preferential overnight and oversized vehicle parking signs have been posted to provide relief to the residents of Los Angeles, he has marked every car share space in the city. Juan's team spirit is unflagging, and he is always one of the first to help out when other divisions need a hand. He has assisted with numerous events, ranging from Dodger games to the Special Olympics and beyond. Juan is not only a dedicated city employee, he is an inspirational team member that we are fortunate to have. Juan, please stand up. Thank you. And finally, Dennis Toe, a clerk typist in the department's clerical support unit, has been a sought-out resource over the last 2 years. First, he was reassigned from the administrative support section to the parking meter security investigation section to help develop a system for tracking and reporting parking meter revenue, a critical asset for the city. During his time in meter security investigations, he's been responsible for ensuring that the vendor billing submitted on a monthly basis was accurate and paid on time. He's been an integral part of the investigation unit by taking over much of the clerical duties and the scheduling of meter collections and key issuance. Recently, when a staffing shortage in the franchise and taxi cab permit section caused a huge backlog in taxi and non-taxi permits, Dennis was asked to come to the rescue and assist with managing the backlog in that section. Dennis undertakes all his assignments with little instruction, a great attitude, and completes his task in a truly professional manner. Dennis is certainly an employee who exemplifies the words teamwork and flexibility. Dennis, would you please stand so we can recognize you? With that, I just want to mention two things. One is just last week was International Walk to School Day. And by all accounts, it was the most successful one we have ever had in the city of Los Angeles. A lot of credit goes to Margot Ocañas and her team in putting together participation by over 100 schools in the city. And we hope to exceed that next year and really encourage kids and their families to get out, spend time together, and walk to school to shine a light on traffic safety, on public health, all the things that I know that are near and dear to all of our hearts. And the second thing I want to mention is that this Sunday is Ciclavia in the heart of the city. It's the 5th anniversary, so it's a fantastic event, and this one will go past MacArthur Park, which has a beautiful public art installation with which they've extended. DOT is really proud to support this event and all of the positive things that it brings to the city. And with that, I'm happy to take questions about any other items if any of the committee members have them.
Well, I know. I want to commend all three of you, but especially for that life-saving action. It doesn't get any better than that. So I wanted to thank you for that on behalf of the whole council. On the Ciclavia, can you tell us where the end points are so that people that want to start it will know where to find it?
Do you know exactly where it is, Jeff?
MacArthur Park, Hollenbeck Park, and Chinatown it's like a T-shape. So those are the three endpoints.
It starts downtown, it goes into Chinatown, and then it goes out to MacArthur Park.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments? If not, thank you so much for your report. And do we need to approve that report?
No.
No, okay. All right, item number 6.
Item number 6 is a Blumenfield-Harris-Dawson motion relative to amending the LAMC section 87.55 to prohibit the parking of vehicles for private sale on both sides of Sherman Way between Monetka and Corbin Avenue.
Good afternoon, members. My name is Jenny Portillo, and I'm the Senior Field Representative for Councilmember Bob Blumenfield. Thank you so much on behalf of the Councilmember for hearing item number 6. I'm here to speak on why we're asking for the prohibitive for sale vehicles along Sherman Way between Waneka and Corbin. This issue has become a real problem in our district. Many residents are no longer able to park their vehicles on the street, as well as it becomes a very huge blight in that community. The for sale vehicles are parked along adjacent to the schools, and the two schools are Stanley Mosque Elementary and John Sutter Middle School. The parents are no longer allowed to park along that area to pick up their child safely. We actually also have had incidents of people who are driving down Sherman Way and slowing down to see the numbers on these for sale vehicles, causing some sort of traffic jam and also endangering the lives of these kids as they're crossing across the street to reach their parents or the nearby fast food restaurant. So I urge the council members to move forward with this.
May I ask a few questions? And Ms. Rodriguez, have you personally observed the vehicles parked with the for sale signs that you described?
Yes, I usually drive the district, at least the community of Waneka, at least 3 to 4 times a week. And there is a constant for sale vehicles, about 20 or so each time I drive by. There's always parked.
And you mentioned that the parents in the local schools that you described were not allowed to park. Is that because parking spaces are taken up by these vehicles with the for sale signs?
Correct.
And could you describe a little bit the traffic concerns that you have as a result of these vehicles parked with the for sale signs?
Currently, I believe the speed on that intersection is about 40 miles per hour. Vehicles do drive fast, and so right before you hit Waneka, going westbound on Sherman Way, you can automatically tell how the vehicles start slowing down, and to see if there's a number that they can pick off if they're interested, I'm assuming. But you can definitely see the right lane that is closer to the parked vehicles that's slowing down. And this is not even during school hours. It can be on the weekends when I have weekend events and I drive by the area. You can tell that particular lane, it has slowed down just so people can see if they can catch a number so they can call and inquire. But it is a very dangerous section, and it's a concern to us.
And your concern is heightened with the schools that you mentioned?
Correct.
And there's pedestrian traffic here that's also being affected?
Yes. The main school where the vehicles are parked is a middle school, and that's a big concern to me. I know that school participates a lot in walk to school, so I know the teachers and the principals try to do safe routes, but we can't control the habits of those who are driving, and that's my biggest concern, is that we don't want anything to occur because of all the vehicles being parked there.
And this issue that you described is occurring on Sherman Way between Waneka and Corbin Avenues?
Correct.
And have you received any business or constituent complaints?
That is correct. The way I've noticed it when we first got into office, but definitely the neighborhood council has brought it up to my attention. The homeowners across the street who are, I believe an HOA has also brought it up. The neighboring businesses, there's a Burger King and also another restaurant that have brought it up to my attention as well.
And they brought up the traffic concerns, or what exactly?
The traffic concerns, and also not having enough parking for their clients as well.
So that there's a monopolization of the parking.
Correct.
And is this also an eyesore of sites, or is
it is definitely an eyesore. All you see is the for sale signage on the vehicles, whether the front or the back of the vehicles. Each of them have it, and it's lined up. It looks like a little dealership, and plus the vehicles don't move at all. So when the palm fronds fall, they fall in between. And so for us to get a street sweeper to clean it up, it's just even unimaginable. So we try to do community cleanups in that section and try our best to clean it up, but because the vehicles do not move at all, or they move a little bit forward or backwards, it's very difficult for us to clean that section up. And that's another issue as to why we have constituents calling our office.
And for the record, some of the complaints that we're generally describing here, you've actually provided to the clerk, is that right?
Correct. I provided 3 letters to the clerk. One of them from Principal Barbara Friedrich from Stanley Mosque Elementary. The second letter is from Principal Kelly Welch from John Sutter Middle School. And the third one is from a gentleman named John Poor, who's a community member and also sits on the Waneka Neighborhood Council.
And can you briefly describe what these written complaints, is that fair to call it?
Correct. It's in support of our motion as well. The school has brought it up. The principal prior to Principal Welch at John Sutter had brought it up before, asking to see what we can do. Well, the principal left, and that information wasn't left behind to the new principal. So when we set up the meeting to discuss what we wanted to do along Sherman Way between Waneka and Corbin, she was in support of that, and she was very happy that our office is taking the lead in trying to resolve that issue.
Okay, thank you for answering my question.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments from members? I'd just say I know there's a couple other places in the city that have similar circumstances, and they're huge nuisances, especially when they're near schools. So this clearly is a problem that needs correcting, and I appreciate the council member bringing this forward to us.
And we just did this in my district, in our Ladot, and it's definitely helped. But what helps too is also posting signs. So I don't know if that's what you're going to be doing as well, but posting signs that it's illegal to sell cars in a public street does deter folks from coming back. But
Thank you, Ms. Martinez. We are working with the DOT engineer, Ken Feruzman, on getting signage, so I appreciate what you guys are saying. I thank you, council members.
And if there's no objection, that item will be approved.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Item number 7.
Item number 7 is a city attorney report and ordinance in response to a Crest Cricorian bond and motion relative to amending LAMC Section 88.10 to provide an exemption for bicycles secured to an LADOT-approved bicycle parking device on a parking meter stand.
And do we have a staff person to make a brief presentation on this?
Hi, Ken Husting with LADOT Parking Management. We're really excited about this ordinance to allow us to install bicycle racks on meter posts. There's been a huge outcry for more additional bicycle parking in the city, and this is one great way to make use of the existing infrastructure to incorporate bike racks on the meter posts and provide this as a pilot program in Westwood and also the great streets across the city of LA. And so we recommend that this go forward with your approval, and I'll be happy to field any questions you may have.
Any questions? Council members, questions, comments? If not, we have one speaker from the public, Jeff Jacobberger.
Good afternoon, Jeff Jacobberger. I'm the chair of the city's Bicycle Advisory Committee. We support this motion and this effort sort of as far as it goes, but we'd actually suggest that the city should just allow people to park their bikes at all parking meters. I'm going to an appointment later this afternoon. I will park my bike at the parking meter that's directly in front of the office that I'm going to. I have no idea how far away I'd have to park my bike if I actually parked it at a legal authorized parking meter or parking rack. One of the great advantages of bicycling in the city of Los Angeles is that you actually get to park. If there's a parking meter there right in front of the place, you get to go. And in a lot of neighborhoods, you don't have to circle for parking. So really, like I said, the city should just allow people to park their bikes at all parking meters, but we support this, as I said, as far as it goes. Thank you.
Thank you. If there are no other questions or comments, that item will be approved.
Thank you.
Thank you. Item number 9.
I think that's been continued. Is it 9 and 10?
I believe the chair wanted to continue item 9 and 10.
I think it's 8. The next one, 8?
We approved that on consent.
We passed 8 on consent,
So
So that
9 and 10 are both continued?
yes.
Okay, we have speakers on these items. Let's have them speak anyway, and we will have those items come back at a later date. First, item number 9, Eric Bruins, to be followed by Jeff Jacobberger.
being continued?
Item 9 and 10 are being continued, but if you'd like to speak as a courtesy. Okay. Jay Bieber.
Thank you. I'll be very brief since it's being continued. I want to thank you very much for taking up this item. I submitted a fairly comprehensive report to all of your staff. Hopefully you've had a chance to see that. I won't get into a whole lot of details, but our focus in our organization is to make sure that if we are focusing on traffic safety, we're focusing on those things that are actually causing the problems and where they are. In terms of pedestrian safety, as a member of the Sherman Oaks Neighborhood Council, we wrote a report on pedestrian safety, and that's also attached to the report that I sent, and I would encourage you to take a look at it. There are numerous things we can do, especially things like activated crosswalks where we have things like rectangular rapid flashing beacons and pedestrian islands where people can cross half of the street and whatnot. So just being brief, thank you very much, and that's all my comments for today. Thank you.
Thank you. And that item number 9 is continued. Item number 10 will also be continued. We have 2 speakers on them, if they so desire, Jeff Jacoberger and Jay Bieber. Either of you want to speak on those items?
As long as I'm here, I'll just quickly. This is an item and something that we had been talking about for quite a while, which is the fact that most people do not know that it is illegal to start crossing the street after the countdown timer starts, especially if they've made it across the street. They don't see any reason why they should get close to a $200 ticket for doing that. People are shocked and appalled. It's really bad public policy, even though it is the law. The city can do a number of things, such as ask that it not be a high priority for ticketing and things of that nature. And we would recommend that the city council members take up a motion to do just that. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Item number 10 is continued as well. And without any further business before us, we are adjourned.